Hello, fictional. Welcome to the fiction series X. Today we are gonna see, what if Issei is a hybrid of a high-class devil? Part 1. If you end up liking this video, please consider subscribe, so without further ado, let's get into the video. Issei Hyodo was 5 when he found the secret of his birth. He was 5 when his parents were taken from him by the fallen angel Raynor. He was 5 when Sirzech's Lucifer took him in as his apprentice. Issei Hyodo was 5 when he became the Red Dragon Hunter. For young Issei, life was fun and normal for a 5-year-old, however his parents kept a big secret from him. He found out in the worst way possible. It was late at night when he was awoken by a nightmare and explosion. Seeking the protection of his parents, Issei went to their room. He knocked but got no answer, so he knocked again, only louder. He again got no answer. Issei was getting sadder and more scared the longer he was stuck in the dark corridor of house. Pushing through his fear, Issei decided to enter his parents' room. Upon entry he found it was empty. He then heard a sound from downstairs and decided to see if it was family having a late night snack. The lower down the stair he got, the more scared he became. He felt something dangerous down there but decided to keep moving. As soon as he got down the stair, Issei was left with destruction everywhere. The walls were missing, the furniture was destroyed, all was left was rubble. His mother lay dead on the floor near where the kitchen was. She was left lying in a pool of blood around her, growing bigger as the seconds passed. Even at a young age Issei knew this was bad. He didn't know she was dead, but he knew she was hurt. Issei wanted to go to his mother and give a plaster like she would when he was hurt, but he could move. Something was stopping him. That thing was his father magic. Issei's dad stood beaten and battered but still standing, devil wings spread and his hand pointing to Issei, making a barrier between him and the conflict. Issei saw a dark-haired girl with black walk over to him with a glowing spear in her hands. "Are you ready to die, you devil filth? Any last words before I kill you and stop your son from discovering who he truly is?" Issei's father spat at the girl and spoke. "Shut up, you bitch. My son will be stronger than any of his ancestors. He will hunt you and destroy you, my lord has promised it." He then stopped talking and started chanting. "I lord, insert name here. Release the power holding back my son and offer his service to you, my demon king Sirzechs. I chose you to train him and make sure he is ready. Please hear my call, you owe me, damn it." Issei's father finished his long chant and then Raynor stabbed him. "You demon king won't be saving you or your son today, demon filth." Suddenly a flash of red blinded everything, and from it came a large, strong, red-haired man with battle armor on. Came out soon over the body of a dead devil. Issei's father. "I am Sirzech's Lucifer. King of the devils, you have killed one of High Council, and now I will make you pay. I place a bounty on your head. No, from this day forth you will be hunted by Issei until you take your last breath. Now leave or else." Raynor, not wanting to face the wrath of Sirzechs, left the battle laughing and asking how a 6-year-old hybrid boy could hunt her, but little did she know. It was then that Sirzechs took Issei in. He trained him for 2 years. He told him everything about hybrids, devil, angels, fallen angels, and of course about the dragon kings and emperors. It wasn't until Sirzechs' sister race was ready for training that Sirzechs asked Azexel, the current governor general of the fallen angels, to retire to train the boy to be bounty hunter for the pair of them. Azexel agreed and trained boy for another 5 years. Stepping down to become Sirzechs' advisor on all thing fallen angel. Issei at the end of his training. Issei breathed heavily. He had been fighting the damned fallen angel lord for about 2 hours now and still couldn't lay a finger on them. The other target that Azexel had given him so far way a lot easier than this. Thankfully this was training so he couldn't die as easily. The fallen angel lord sent another blast to Issei. Issei dodged it and then tried to find a way to defeat the bastard. "Greg, any ideas?" Issei asked as another blast hit him. "Boost." "No sorry partner, I don't just keep dodging," Drake said with little encouragement. Another blast hit Issei and he fell to his knees. "The only way you're going to defeat me, boy, and pass the test is if you use your balance break, so come on, do it," the fallen angel mocked. Issei just smirked. "Why thank you, sir." Issei spoke as he waited for Drake to enhance him. "Boost. Scale mail ready," Drake informed Issei. "Activate balance breaker, red dragon scale mail, type 1, Issei yelled as his body was consumed in a red light. Once the light vanished, Issei was left with his armor. It was lightweight and offered little protection, however it allowed Issei to be faster. His attacks didn't get any stronger, so Issei had learned to use his speed to dish out fast light attacks to win the fight. Issei then yelled the name of his armor type. Angel Hunter. The fallen angel lord was scared now. Azexel didn't tell me about this. Seeing the fallen angel's fear, Issei attacked. Using his speed, Issei closed the distance. But when he got close, Issei disappeared only to reappear behind the fallen angel. Issei sent single punch to the fallen angel's back before moving again with great speed to the fronted. He then kicked the fallen angel's legs and made him fall. "This is over," was all Issei said before sending his elbow with great speed to the back of the fallen angel's head, knocking him out. As soon as the fight was over, Issei heard clapping from the sidelines. It was Azexel. Well done Issei, you just need to work on getting your gear to boost faster. But here I got another name from Sirzechs. Azexel handed Issei a piece of paper. Your next target is a fallen angel and stray devil known as Celetria. Her hunting grounds are in the old shipping house by the docks. After Issei read the piece of paper he said bye to Azexel and left the underworld. Once Issei returned to his home which Sirzechs built for him expected to Issei plan 1 year ago for his 15th birthday, Issei was overjoyed not to have to live with Azexel anymore, his snores made the house shake. The house had 4 rooms downstairs and 3 rooms upstairs. Downstairs was a training and workout room which was equipped with all the latest gym equipment and a section for sword practice and a shower. The next rooms were an living room with 4 two-man sofas, as well as 3 one-man chairs, a bookshelf with human books and a secret compartment with devil history books and techniques inside of it. The living room also had a 40-inch Samsung TV. The next room was a kitchen with everything you would need. There was a small office that had a dining table that could fit 10 people on it, however Issei tended to eat in the living room watching Netflix. The final downstairs room was spare bedroom that had a wardrobe, a queen-size bed, and an ensuite. The walls were painted white and the floor was wooden just like rest of the house. Most of the other bedroom were like this. The upstairs had a normal bathroom and 3 bedrooms, 2 of which were the same as downstairs and the other was Issei's. Issei had a king-size bed and had red painted wall, as well as an ensuite. There was a bookshelf full of games and a 32-inch TV with his box 1 attached to it. There was also a secret portal to the underworld that Issei only had access to when he spoke the password. Issei finished touring the house making sure he had no intruders. Once he done this Issei started to make himself some food. As he was the Red Dragon Emperor he would eat 3x the amount a normal human would eat. Issei plated his food which was a pleasant roast lamb breast, yes the whole breast. With minted new potatoes and seasonal veg. Issei carried his large plate of food to the living room and turned on the TV. He was about to start to eat when he heard his doorbell ring. Issei got up and walked to the door. Once he got there he opened it. He was met with a girl he had only seen photos of in Sirzechs' office when he handing in a contract. Before him stood Rias Gremory, sister of Sirzechs Lucifer and more commonly known as the Ruined Princess. Hello, I'm Rias Gremory, your new housemate. Issei fished giving Rias the tour of the house before he stopped outside the spare room opposite his room. And this is your room. My room is across the hall if you need anything. Thank you. I didn't get your name. Ray said as he opened her door. It's Issei, just call me Issei. Issei said not wanting to tell her his last name in case she either remembered who he was or that he was high-class devil in hiding. Okay Issei, thank you, I'm just going to relax now. Ray said as she entered her room. Ray spav. I entered my room and took a breath, calming my nerves. The power I felt coming off Issei was more than I had ever felt. His potential as devil seemed great and next to invincible. I could put my finger on it, but something about him reminded me of someone. I decided it would be best if I pushed it through from my head and inspect the room I had been given. The room itself was fairly dull, white walls, wooden floors and white covers on the bed. The most color in room came from the cream curtains on the window. I had everything I need as standard, but I kind of wanted to decorate a little bit. Sighing, I decided it would be best to ask Issei if I could decorate my room when I next saw him so I didn't cause any unwanted problems. Normal Pav. Grace unpacked her things into the places she wanted them to go and then laid on her bed. She found it was very comfortable. It had been a long day and the temptation of sleep was too much. Sleep overtook her, she didn't realize she was still wearing clothes. 1 week later. Issei was in the training room preparing for the night ahead. He had decided to go hunting for Celetria tonight, and this was a pattern he entered every time he was going hunting. He would train and make sure this body was ready for action. Loosening every joint and making sure all his attacks hit with strength and speed. Issei was halfway through his exercise when Race entered the room. Hey Issei, do you mind if I use the gym? Issei simply nodded and went back to training. Issei was so focused on his movements that he didn't see Race staring at him, he was topless after all. His well-toned abs and muscles were on display and it was quite the show for any girl who got the chance to see it. Some of the girls from school had tried to sell pictures of him topless. It was successful until Issei found out and took all the money they made for compensation of using picture of him without permission. After about an hour Issei decided enough was enough. He took a sip of his drink and wiped the sweat from his brow. Issei looked over to the gym area in the training room and was going to ask Rias if she wanted anything to eat when he found himself staring at her. Race was on the treadmill and was wearing a very tight tank top and very short shorts. As she ran the boobs bounced and the sweat made her face shine. She really was a thing of beauty no matter what she was doing. Issei was lost in his head and was just staring when he managed to snap himself out of it and told him off. She's Sirzechs' little sister Issei, you know, even as a high-ranking devil you can't go there, snap out of it, focus on the job at hand. Issei decided it would be best to just leave. Nightfall. Issei put on his black leather jacket. He was wearing a red t-shirt, loose Jensen and so running shoes. It allowed him to move quickly and dodge out the way before, whilst he charged up his armor. Issei tested the fitness of his shoes, making sure they fit properly and had no hole in them. Seeing they were all good, he stood up. He walked to the door of his room and left. This was where he was face to face with Rias, who was wearing a crimson t-shirt and white blazer, as well as a skirt that went to her tights. She was also wearing some red-black canvas shoes. Issei Pav. Hey Issei, where are you going at this time? Rias asked me innocently. Shit. Was all I thought. I need to think of something fast. I'm going to meet some friends for a late night dinner. You know how it is. No, I don't, to be honest. Rias said in a matter-of-fact tone. She then looked to Flora in shame when she realized how rude she might have sounded. Yeah, well, say, where are you off to now that I think about it? I asked. I'm off to a club meeting. You mean the occult research club, right? What secrets are to be found at this time? And thinking about it. Why tonight doesn't school start back in like 2 months or something? I asked. Yeah, well, we're a very dedicated club and who know there's lots of secret out there. Ray said, clearing being stuck in the same quick thinking situation as me. Okay, well, you got a key, I'm going now, so lock the door when you leave, okay? I told her before walking away. All I heard was her saying okay before I headed down the stairs and out the door. Docks. I walked the docks. Walking in the shadows. I knew Rias would probably be hunting something similar to me, so I couldn't take the "I've been caught." As I arrived at the docks, I began to hear talking. Once there, I saw Rias and some people I didn't know talking to what must have been Sirzechs. I remained in the shadows but activated my boosted gear. Boost, what are we going to do, partner? Drake chose to speak to me in my head instead of using his loud voice that would get us caught if he spoke publicly. Although we both preferred to speak publicly, I moved closer, entering a nearby lane. Here he could hear Rias's conversation. Sirzechs being astray, abandoning your master, Rias Gremory, and my servants must take you down as punishment. Rias told Sirzechs as she began to give out orders. Bring it, Hunter. Come and get some. Sirzechs said at a calm tone before blocking every attack that was thrown at her. Boost. Do you think she know we're here? Drake said as he boosted my power. Not much longer now. I thought. You know as well as I do who Hunter is. Yeah, let's hope Rias and her pieces can keep fighting until we're ready. Don't worry, I'll do the talking. Drake told me, reading my mind. Boost. Angel Hunter ready. Stop reading my mind, Drake, but it looks like we're ready. Let's go this. Issei said as he began to leave the shadows and a red glow consumed him. Normal Pav. Scale male, type 1. Angel Hunter. Drake yelled, making their presences know. Who are you? Rias asked. The one who going to save you, ass. Drake told them. Sirzechs, by order of the Demon King, Lord of the Underworld Sirzechs, I sentence you to death. Pride Hunter. Sirzechs asked as she began to shriek. Rias and company were sent flying. Issei was however left standing. Is that all you got? Drake asked her before charging forward. Dragon charge. Drake yelled the attack and Issei's hand began to glow red before lighting on fire. Issei's speed and fiery hand made a power attack which hit Sirzechs straight in the face, sending her flying into a nearby wall. Sirzechs pulled herself out the hole she had made and the flew fast to Issei, claws extended, aimed her Issei's eyes. Let's see how well you fight when you blind. Issei caught her hand. Not so fast. Drake said cockily. Issei then threw Sirzechs over toward Rias without thinking. He realized what he had done when Rias cried out in pain. Sirzechs had managed to catch her leg as she landed. The cut was deep but not fatal, it would heal in time. Issei walked over to Sirzechs and picked her up by her head. He then slammed it into the floor. Sorry, Rias didn't look where I was throwing this piece of shit. Drake said as Issei put a foot in between Sirzechs' wings and grabbed hold of the wings themselves. He then began to pull. Slowly the wings began to rip from Sirzechs' back. This caused a great amount of pain for the fallen angel. Ah, please stop. Just kill me. Ria's eyes widened as Issei did this. She watched with a look of shock and confusion. She looked away, but it was only so she could see if her friends were okay. She found they were unconscious. She then looked back to Issei. His eyes bright emeralds, they looked like they could see inside your very soul and could bring fear to the one they targeted at. Issei had no wings and to Rias it looked like he was ripping off Sirzechs for his own use. The angel was still screaming in pain and it only got louder as the wings came off. A geyser of black blood was what replaced then spoke. Sirzechs, you have suffered for your crimes and now you must pay for them. One life for many. Issei then sent his heavy foot into Sirzechs, who was now exuded from the torture she just had to face. The impact of Issei's foot to the back of Sirzechs' head caused it to crush. Her body went limp and turned to ashes. Rias tried to find the strength to stand but failed. Issei then moved to help her. This is my fault, Rias, sorry. It's okay, but who are you? A friend? Now sit here and wait for your friends to wake up. Drake said for Issei before he walked away back into the shadows. Issei home. Issei ran home after leaving Rias. Thankfully he got there first. He ran up to his room and locked it. With the little time he had before Rias got home, Issei opened a secret compartment that was under his mattress. Issei placed the wings he took inside and closed the compartment before he headed downstairs. As he got there he heard a knock at the door. He opened it to find Rias with her right arm round a blonde-haired man and a black-haired woman. "Rias, are you okay?" Issei asked, trying to act. "What happened?" The blonde boy answered. "We were messing around after the meeting and Rias slipped and cut her ankle." "Oh god, how bad is it?" "Come in." Issei then led the trio to the living room. "Put her on the sofa over there." Issei was pointing to one of the one-man sofas he had. He pulled a lever on the side and a footrest came up. Issei put the leg on the rest and Rias sat back in the chair. "Kiba, Akeno. I find really. Issei, you two don't worry. Just leave me be." Issei shook his head. "Nope, not going to happen." Issei then looked over to Kiba and Akeno. "I'm sorry guys, but you gotta go. It's late and after I've done this I'm going to bed. I'll help her to her room first, don't worry, but please can you go? Feel free to come tomorrow to see how she doing, but yeah. We understand." Kiba said. "Yes, see you tomorrow, have fun." Akeno said with smirk as Issei led the pair out the house. Issei returned 5 minutes later with a bandage he had gotten off Azexel. Issei began to wrap Rias wounded. There was an awkward silence. Issei thought it was best to break it. "Sue, what she mean by have fun? I mean that's quite the hole you have in your ankle." Rias sighed. "It's just what Akeno does when I'm stuck somewhere with a good-looking guy. It rather annoying to be honest." Issei smirked. "You think I good-looking?" Issei got the reaction he wanted. Rias's face went bright red and she began to stutter. That's not what I meant, damn you Akeno." Issei just laughed, getting a soft smack in the arm off Rias. "Don't laugh at me." Issei stopped laughing but saw Rias smiling. Such a cute smile. Issei shook his head to get rid of the thought. "And done. Now come on, I'll help you upstairs." Rias hated the fact she had to be helped but accepted the offer. Issei picked her up bridal style and carried her upstairs. Rias' face went bright red again. The way Issei carried her was just embarrassing. It didn't help how Issei just carried on laughing at her. Issei put Rias in her bed before saying goodnight and leaving the room. "He's such a gentleman, kind of cute too." Rias thought to herself as she stripped herself the best she could despite the fact she couldn't stand. She then went to sleep. Issei grabbed Celetria's wing and opened the doorway to Sirzech's office. "Sirzech's office. Issei, how are you?" Sirzech asked in a friendly manner. "I'm good." Issei replied. "So how was it?" Sirzech asked, talking about the mission he sent Issei on. "Well." Issei began before telling Sirzech everything. "I see, thank you for taking care of my sister. Sorry to dump her on you like that, but I thought you could use the company and she needed someone strong enough to protect her. She's strong, don't get me wrong, but she still has a lot to learn." "I will, Sirzech, I promise to protect Rias, and yes, it is nice to be able to talk to someone for a change and not be stuck in a silent house." Issei said, smiling. "Yes, well, maybe you could marry her, that's if you can raise her and get her to fall for you." Sirzech said with a smirk. "Dude, that's your sister, man, damn. Anyway, here. Celetria's wings. Proof of her death." Issei said as he handed over the wings. "Thank you, and here's the bounty. I already have your next target. Raynor. Where is she?" Issei asked as his blood began to boil. The name of the fallen angel that killed his parents was told to him. He was finally going to get his chance. "No idea, but my contacts tell me a priestess named Asia, no last name. Works for her, as a slave mind you. She's arrived in Japan, find her, and I bet you will be shown how to find Raynor." Sirzech then handed Issei a photo of Asia. Issei bowed and said thank you. Issei then left using the same portal he had used before. "No thank you Issei, son of, insert name here," Sirzech said as Issei left. Issei entered his bedroom and looked at this bed. "Thanks to the power I won't be going to bed tonight." Despite all the train, Issei still couldn't control his power completely, so every time he overused it his body constantly produced adrenaline, so it seemed he had the caffeine shakes. It also meant his body couldn't relax. So sleep wasn't an option. Issei put the money he earned into the secret compartment under his bed and smiled. "I'm starting to run out of room. Would open a bank account if the fallen couldn't get all his information from it." Issei decided to count it like he always did. It was an ego boost and he wouldn't deny it, however he wouldn't boast about it, just allow him to have those oh yeah moments. Issei finished his counting after about 10 minutes and lots of notes. He found that he had finally reached 156,039,812. 50 yen. "Thanks you Sirzech. Pretty much set for life if I spend it wisely." Issei put away the money and burned his notes and then left his room. Issei went down to the kitchen and made himself a marmite and cheese sandwich. He went from the kitchen living room. He walked over to the bookshelf and went into the devil book section. He got these books from a stash he found that belonged to his father. Issei pulled out 3 books in the middle of the section he had hidden. Once the books were removed, Issei slid his hand into the gap and pressed a button. Once he did so, the bookshelf pushed forward and then moved to the left, revealing the entrance to Issei basement. Haha, this house has almost as many secrets as me. Issei put the books back on the shelf, passed through the opening, and pulled a lever that moved the bookshelf into place. Issei walked down the stairs and entered a candlelit room. On one side of the room was another bookshelf and a flag. The flag had the symbol of Issei's father's clan. On the other side was a wall of photos, it a shrine to his parents. It had many photos of their life together. There was also a single book in the center of the shrine. It was his mother's diary. It how he had learned all about them and how they led their life. Issei's father, although a devil, had never acted for greed. He was always faithful to his mother, and Issei decided to follow in his path, suppressing his perverted mind and refusing to give in to the wants of his devilish genes. Issei always smiled at the fact that Issei's mother always accepted Issei's father, and he was quick to tell her he had warned him not to cheat. He had one chance and only one, no second chance at all. If he gave in to his wants, then he would lose her. It showed he truly loved her. Issei had decided long ago he was going to be the same. No matter how hard it was going to be. Issei walked over to the bookshelf and pulled a book and began to read aloud. Let's see if it works this time. My name is Issei Haidu, son of Raphael Haidu. I wish to take my pass as heir to the head of the Haidu devil clan, clan of the dragon, receive the power of a true blood, give me the wrath of the dragon. Issei finished reading the first part out loud, but then he felt a pain enter his chest and slow move through his body. I accept the power and use it with responsibility. I will do the duties of a dragon, protect the weak, and defeat the wrong. Issei felt the pain grow more and his power sapping away. I am Issei Haidu, let devil be crushed and the dragon be realized. Suddenly a black light consumed Issei and he felt his body start to shut down. Issei felt his body begin to change. Fuck, does every devil take this pain as they accept their role in a clan? As soon as Issei said those words, wings shot out of his back. The wings were longer than his arm span, they jet black but had a red glow to them. Issei smiled, being proud of himself. It had been a year and a half of trying and a lot of pain to get to this stage. After a few seconds Issei heard someone clapping. Well, it's about goddamn time. Azexel. Issei stated. Yes, well done on taking over the role of the Dragon Clan, at least the Phoenix Clan is rival again, Mr. Immortal. Not if you stay out of my way. I'm not going to hunt Razor unless I have to. Issei said in a matter-of-fact tone. Yep, just like your father god. Well, here's your reward. Given to us by your father when you were born. A choice of 3 familiars. A chimera, a griffin and a phoenix. All the creatures were smaller than their true form and were perfect size for familiars. Well, chimera is cool and all, but that tail is plain weird. The griffin is too calm, the phoenix, it adds insult injury. Issei began to smirk. Why not? I want the phoenix. But choice. Be thankful you go to do this. Normally you would have to go to the familiar realm. In saying that, if the phoenix doesn't accept you, then I have to take you there to go find one that will. Issei walked over to the phoenix's cage and opened it. The creature was calm and didn't attack, which was a good sign. Issei then put his hand over the creature. I, Issei Haidu, chose you to be my familiar, my most faithful servant. Do you accept to be my familiar? The phoenix made a squeaking sound and began to glow black. As it did, its form began to change. Suddenly it was standing upright and was taller than Azexel. The glow vanished and the transformation was complete. The familiar was not only tall, but was thin and had an average tone. What is my name, my lord? The familiar asked. I think I will call you Fang. Yes, your name Fang Haidu. I here grant you the power of the dragon and mark you as my familiar. Issei said. Fang nodded. Thank you, master. What are orders? Fang asked. First, learn to call me Issei. I don't you calling me master, we're friends, okay? Secondly, I need you to find this person. Contact me when you do. Issei handed the picture of Asia to Fang. Fang nodded. He then transformed back into a phoenix and then flew through a portal. Well done. Now relax, you passed yet another test. Once you killed Raynor, I teach you how to use your magic and get better control over your familiar. Tat for now. Azexel said before leaving himself. The next day. Issei had spent the rest of the night training, working on his body in the gym, and then when the sun began to rise, he stuck some headphones in and listened to music before it got to about 10. At which point he decided to get some food. Making more bacon, buddy, and eggs and soldiers that he wanted to eat, he was going to throw them in the bin like he normally do, but then he looked up, remembering about Rias and how he made her bedridden. So he decided to warm them up, then put them on a tray before taking them up to her. He knocked on the door. Rias gave a tried reply. Issei opened the door and entered. The next thing he saw made his face go bright red. He quickly closed his eyes. Rias was of course naked, but when Issei entered, Rias sat up and she let her boobs be on display. Rias, can you cover yourself? I can see your T-boobs. I can see your boobs. Oh sorry, there you go. Rias said, lifting up the covers. Issei risked opening his eyes and saw Ria's beauty. Even with bed head she was still beauty. Stop, Issei told himself. He then walked over to her, placed the food down and said, I made you something to eat. Here, your book. I'll be going now. Issei practically ran out the room, his body was begging him to stay and enjoy the view. But his mind told him no. So he left. As he did, Rias stopped him. Issei, stay, I want to get to know you better. I mean, I can't get out of bed until ankle heals. Stay until my friends arrive. Then come back in, with food of course. Issei took a breath and spoke. Alright, fine, just put a bra on at least. Rias smirked. Pass them over, I can't. Get out of bed, I know. Damn Gremory. Issei said the last bit was under his breath. He grabbed a random bra and a pair panties and threw them at her and left. Back in a second. Rias got dressed and called Issei in. He entered, she patted the side of her bed and he came over and sat down. The next 2 months went pretty quickly and school starting back up again. Issei had mostly spent it getting to know each other, both hiding the fact that they were devils and what they had planned for the future. However, no so long ago they had taken getting to know each other a step further and now the pair both innocently flirted with each other. It wasn't much, but anyone could see the chemistry begin to grow. But today was different. Issei and Rias couldn't sit around and just talk, they had to go to school. Rias had woken up early and left early. Issei only knew she had left after he heard yelled by and the door slammed shut. You nervous, partner? Drake asked simply. Kind of, since I awoke in my devil plans my senses have double, I can now sense everything. I can hear the heartbeat of a human, I can see the glow of a devil, and I smell the stench of a fallen. So yes, I'm nervous. Don't forget I'm here, I can help. I got your back. Drake said, agreeing to be Issei's eyes in the back of his head. Cheers, Drake. Issei thanked before putting on his grey school blazer and sticking in his headphones before leaving for school. How Academy. Issei entered the front gate and all the girls had eyes on him. Thanks to his headphones he couldn't hear what they were saying, he knew they were attracted to him. Issei walked towards the front door of the main building before taking a left. As he walked round the building he saw Rias in one of the windows at the top, she waved to him and he nodded his head in return before walking away to his spot. Issei stopped in the far left corner of the wall round Academy. It was an area that no one came to in fear of the things that were rumored to happen there. Issei on the other hand didn't care, he simply wanted somewhere quiet to chill out. Issei put his bag down and sat on the floor resting his back on the wall. He then stared blankly at the clouds, wishing to up there. Just continue your training and we'll be up there. Issei chuckled. I know, Drake. The haha, look, Issei the loner is talking to himself, how sad. A boy said to his mates. This off on. It's the first day, haven't you got some girls to go chase and see if you can finally get laid, Issei said, still looking up. Why, piece of shit. Get him, boys. Vaughn and his mates charged Issei. Issei stood up and dodged all of his assaulter. I'm not going to fight you. Issei stated. Well then you'll have to let me beat the shit out of you. Vaughn then smiled. Or I just proved that I'm not to be fucked with. Vaughn pulled out a tiny flip knife and went to stab Issei in the gut. Issei blocked it and grabbed Vaughn's wrist. He twisted it, making Vaughn drop the knife. Once the knife was dropped, Issei twisted Vaughn more until it snapped. Or I could stop you from getting into a situation you can't get out of. Vaughn's mates ran and Vaughn was left screaming in pain. You broke my wrist, you bastard. Vaughn then ran himself. Issei knew he wasn't going to tell one what had happened, he would try to come up with some crappy story that was an attempt to make him look cool. Issei took the dropped knife and threw over the wall. Thankfully there was a lake in the direction he threw it, so no one would be hurt. Issei then checked his watch and ran to class. After school. Issei was walking out the main gate when he saw Rias standing there waiting for someone. Issei didn't think it would be him, so he carried on walking. It was when Rias grabbed his arm and stopped him that he pulled out his headphones and took notice of her. Alright Rias, you waiting for me? Yep, I figured I would walk home with you seeing as I left in such a rush in the morning. Rias said with a smile that made Issei's heart beat faster. Okay, cool, I got to go meet someone, so I hope you don't mind taking a detour and then we go eat out for a change. Sure, but are you asking me out on a date? Rias with a smile. Issei then moved close to her and whispered. Only if you want it to be. Ria's face went bright red and she began to stutter. Issei's face then went red and put his hands up defensively as he began to laugh nervously. Hahaha, I was joking, don't worry. Haha. Oh okay. Rias said, looking saddened before letting Issei lead the way. Issei began kicking himself the whole trip. When Issei saw Fang he told Rias to wait on a nearby bench. Master Issei, I found the girl. Fang said to him. Ah okay, where is she? Issei asked. Follow me. Fang stated before walking over to a nearby alley where a nervous Asia stood. Issei walked over to her and smiled. You must be Asia. My name's Issei, pleasure to meet you. Asia calmed a bit as Issei was trying to be friendly. Yes, that's me, Mr. Fang told me you wanted to find Raynor. Issei nodded his head. I understand from Fang that you are her slave, I can free you from her, but you have to tell me where she is. You won't find her. She will only come to you, she uses her looks to attract men and then prey on them, taking the power they might have. She does this by taking a form of a cute nervous lady and asks the man out, being caught in her magic the man can't say no to her and they follow her every let until she corners them and kills them. Asia said. Before tell Issei the most important detail. She uses the name Yuma Inanno. Okay thank you Asia, you can go now. But I promise to free you okay? Issei said before leaving. Issei then went to go meet Rias. They then went out for their meal. Issei apologies for his joke before, Rias accepted his but in her heart she was still hurt but she didn't know why. After their meal Issei said he wanted to take a walk and Rias again felt the pain in her chest as she walked home alone. Later the night, Issei was walking over a bridge when he smelt a fallen angel. He turned around to see a cute black-haired girl with violet eyes. Issei hi do my name's Yuma Inanno, I've seen you around here and I think you're cute. So will be my boyfriend. Issei felt her magic pull at his mind he blocked it and kept his. Partner what are we going to do? We play alone we have her we want her. Issei said to Drake in his head. Okay Yuma why not, I'll be your boyfriend. 3 days later. Rias Pav. Rias had found about Yuma from Akeno yesterday, everyone was talking about it. Issei the unclaimed was claimed by a girl from a different school. So some reason this hurt Rias in ways she could describe. She had never felt this. No had made her feel the way Issei made her feel and she didn't know what it was. My had your heart broken have. Sirzechs said as he entered her room through a portal. I don't know what you mean Rias said wiping her tears away. Why are you crying then? Sirzechs asked. I don't know. Rias almost screamed. Then I'll tell you, you love Issei you may not know it yet, but you do, and I believe he is starting to love you too. Sirzechs said. Then why is he with this Yuma girl? Rias asked. Because he has to. Sirzechs said simply. Why? Rias asked again tell me. Sirzechs flinched at Rias' demand. He walked over to her and got put an arm on her shoulder. Rias I can't tell you about Issei because of who he is. However what I can say is this. He will always be there for you. Okay, but why are you here brother? Rias asked. I'm here because Razor has changed the deal. He wants me to control your pawns I got to use them all on one person. That person has to fight him at the engagement of my choosing I'm sorry. Sirzechs said as he had 8 pawns in his hand. Okay bother I trust you. Find some 1 string please. Rias as Sirzechs left and she began to cry again. Issei and Yuma had spent the last week going on dates and having fun. Yuma never stopped smiling, despite the fact that she was plotting to kill Issei, she looked like she was having fun. Issei on the other hand was bored shitless. He wouldn't have minded going shopping and things like that if he was with some he wanted to be with someone like Rias. But why Rias? They had only met 2 months ago, but his feeling for her had grown more than he wanted them to. He had tried so hard to suppress them, she was the Demon King's sister and he was the head of a forgotten clan. They were never going to be allowed to be together, he could let what he felt let her get hurt or disgraced. Issei was so caught up in his head he didn't see Yuma move to him for a kiss. As soon as Issei saw this he turned his head. I'm sorry Yuma but no. Yuma looked saddened but then smiled. Okay, oh is that the time I got to go. Can you come meet me at the fountain in the evening? Issei sensed her want to kill him tonight, but Issei had other plans. Not letting Yuma get suspicious he agreed, he then hugged her and kissed her cheek before he turned and left. Home? I'm home. Issei called. A sad Rias walked down the stairs. Hey Issei. Rias' voice sounded hurt. Rias you okay? Issei said walking over to her grabbing her hips and looking in her eyes. I'm okay, how was your date? Rias asked moving Issei's hands and walking past him into the kitchen. Kind of shit. Yuma doesn't get I think I'll be ending it soon. Issei told her. Oh really? The girls at school will be happy then. Rias said hiding her smile. Oh really that included you? Issei said as he walked next to her and rested on the counter. Haha, what are you saying Issei? Rias laughed. Sorry forget about. Anyway I got to go she wants to meet me later tonight by the fountain in Central Park. I'm going to the gym to pass the time. Issei said as he walked away and into the gym as he got here he took off his top and went to the weights. Rias struggled to not to go watch him, so she took her food and went upstairs and sat on her bed. It was here where she got Kaling Rune. Who is this? It's the Red Dragon Hunter you might remember me from the fight with Solitaria. Anyway if you want to help me take down Raynor come to Central Park Fountain at 7 tonight. The call ended and then Ria's eyes widened and one thought Issei. Grace jumped out of bed and ran downstairs to warn Issei. But once she got to the gym she found Issei was gone. Rias decided the next best option was to call for backup. She checked the clock and saw she had 1 hour to get everyone and save Issei. Central Park. Issei was waiting for Yuma, he was eating a bag of chips and was sat on the edge of the fountain. It was then when Yuma arrived. Hi Issei. Alright Yuma, you okay? Issei said with no emotion and just carried on eating. Yeah, I'm okay. Issei, can I ask you something? Yuma asked. Yeah, sure, what's up? Issei asked. Dregs start boosting. Would you anything for me? Yuma began to smile. Would you die for me? This was when Issei smirked. Nice try, Raynor, you hypnosis never worked on me. What are you talking about? My name's Yuma. Raynor said, trying to get into Issei's mind again. Stop, it's not going to work. Is this what you did to my mother to get her to do what you wanted? Issei asked with a wicked smile. No way, it can't be you, there's no way. You're Athiel's son, oh shit. Fine, you want to fight, let's fight. Raynor said as she began to morph into her true form. The skimpy clothes she wore would attract anyone, but not Issei. He kept his mind on Rias. Raynor looked at Issei. You're not as much of an idiot that I thought you were, but I must kill you now before you get too strong. Issei then smirked. You're too late, I will kill you now. Not if I kill you first. Raynor said as she summoned a holy spear. Boost. Scale mail ready. Issei was about to activate his armor when Rias showed up. Issei, are you okay? Where's Yuma? Rias asked. I'm good and you're looking at her. Issei said but then flinched when a spear hit him. Thanks for distracting him. Now Issei die. Raynor screamed. Ah, fuck you. Rias. I'm sorry. Issei said as he ripped out the spear. What for? Rias asked. For not telling you. Dreg said for Issei. Wait, what? Was all Rias said as she watched Issei. Issei's body began to glow and his armor activated. Scale mail type 1. Angel Hunter. Vibayu's sword birth. Akeno, I need a storm. Rias snap out of it and bring the pain, you're the ruined princess after all. Issei order as he blocked another spear. What give you the right to order us about? Kiba asked rudely. The fact that if you don't listen to me then we're all going to die. Ah, fuck it. Issei yelled as another spear him. You going to fight or is this just a firing practice? Raynor said with a smirk. Right, you can either help me or get loose, I don't care. But this bitch is going to die. Issei yelled as he charged into Raynor. Dragon punch. The attack hit Raynor at the face and sent her flying. Issei then ran to catch up to her. He found her lying on the ground. Issei went to pick her up when the body vanished. Up here, Issei, come and give me a kiss. Fuck you. Issei stated before jumping high in the air and slamming his fist into Raynor. Raynor screamed in pain as she hit the floor and Issei landed on top of her, sending his feet into her gut. Raynor then grabbed Issei's foot and pulled it with as much strength as she could before sending Issei face first into the dirt. You'll need more than that to hurt me. Then how about this, Kiba, sword birth, Akeno lighting, and take this. Ruining blast. Rias ordered the attacks once again, sent Raynor flying. Rias went to check on Issei. Issei, are you okay? You sound a lot less pissed than I expected. Issei joked before getting up. Rias smiled but soon stopped when Issei flew towards her with a spear in his gut. Both were in the dirt now and Raynor flew high in the air, making Kiba useless. Akeno tried to attack the fallen angel but failed and was sent into the ground herself. Issei, if you want to kill me then you'll have to do better than that. If you want to go another round, find me at the old church, but if you don't come in 2 months I will destroy this little town that you call home. Raynor then flew away, leaving the group alone. Issei, are you okay? Rias asked again. Issei's armor shattered and the spear set in place, drawing a lot of blood. Issei put both hands on the spear and pulled it out. He could feel his body weakening. He wasn't going to die, not yet anyway. Issei tried to pull himself up, failed. Issei, don't try to move. Kiba, Akeno, go home and find me everything on this church and on Raynor. The pair nodded before leaving through portals. Rias looked at Issei with a stern look but opened a portal. The pair ended up in Issei's room on the floor. Rias moved away from Issei for a minute and stripped down before grabbing the blanket from Issei's bed. She then sat down, pulling Issei up onto her lap dangerously close to her private part. She watched the man in her arms. His eyes were shut, but he looked like he was running a marathon. She could hear his heart pounding and his muscles twitching. It was then Issei's eyes shot open and he took a deep breath. Race. Where are we? Where's Raynor? We're at home and Raynor is gone. Ria's face then looked saddened. Why didn't you tell me, Issei? I thought you trusted me. Why did you tell me that you were him? You were the red dragon. Issei put his hand on Ria's cheek. I didn't tell you because I couldn't. If I told you then I would be putting more stress on you for knowing. There are lots of people out there that want to kill me. I can't trust many. Do you trust me? Races asked. Of course I do. I might have only known you for long, but I think I find you to be every caring girl and someone I hold close. Race heard Issei slip and she smiled. She wanted to try something and she decided to take the risk. Issei, can you kiss me? Issei jumped from his spot on Ria's lap, only noticed he was on it a few moments ago, and looked at Race. Did you just ask me to kiss you? Do you want to? Ria said, looking at the floor in shame. Issei didn't say anything. He simply put his fingers on her chin and forced her to look at him. He then slammed his lips into hers. She flicked slightly but then melted into him. The kiss began to grow. The simple lip-sucking turned into a war of tongues. This was until they had to break for breath. Issei looked deep into Ria's eyes and spoke. "Thank you, Rias, for confirming my feelings. I'm sorry, but I have to leave." Then got up, entered his ensuite and got into some new clothes. He then opened the portal to Sirzech's office and was about to enter when Rias grabbed his arm. "I'm not letting go until you answer one question for me. Do you love me?" "I don't, to be honest, but I think if I did, I know it cannot be. I know about Razor and your engagement. I'm going to get stronger and then I'm going to kill Raynor," Issei said, still looking forward. "Promise you'll come back to me afterwards. Please." Rias begged, not wanting to lose Issei. "I'm sorry, but I can't promise anything. Goodbye, Rias," Issei said before entering the portal. Sirzech's office. As soon as Issei entered the office, Sirzech spoke. "If you love my sister, then fight for her." "How? When I'm not strong enough? I will help you get the strength you need, but promise me you'll protect her." "I promise." End of the part 1. So how was this story? I hope you like it. And if you like it, share this story with your friends and like the video too. And don't forget to subscribe our channel for daily awesome fanfiction. Okay, it's time for me to go. Bye bye.